Afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to be discussing earnest money and promissory note. So on your purchase agreement on page 1, you will see, again, this is on page 1 of the offer to purchase. We're going to discuss this part right here, earnest money and promissory note, lines 25 through 31 of the purchase agreement on page 1. What is earnest money? Does anyone know? Technically, the definition of earnest money is earnest money. It's money used to confirm the contract. And that's in this line right here, okay? It's called good faith money. Normally and customary, it's 1% of your offer. So for the purpose of today's class, I'm going to talk about using a home that's $100,000. So you wrote a $100,000 offer, customary 1%. What's 1% of $100,000? It's $1,000. So you would put $1,000 here. And we'll talk about that's the deposit, and obviously the mortgage is the remaining amount, okay? But in the event your buyer would like to make a stronger earnest money deposit, and let's say they want to offer $2,500. You could put $2,500 there, but you have to make sure that it doesn't exceed the deposit. Okay, so for example, sometimes there's a buyer that may put 3.5% down. Okay, 3.5% of $100,000 is $3,500. You can't put a $10,000 deposit there because that doesn't make any sense. They're only putting $35,000 down, right? So this can't be 10. This would have to be less than the deposit. If they were putting 20% down, then sure they could put 10,000 because 20% of 100,000 is 20 grand, okay? So and the only reason why would you write stronger earnest money is because you would want your offer to be stronger, okay? When you get in multiple offers, there's kind of like earnest money class 201 that I can teach you, but for the basics of today, we're just going to talk about the basics. Best practice when you write an offer, you never leave a box emptied nor a checkbox unchecked. Here you have two options. Are we going to write a check or are we going to redeem a note? Okay? And the Ohio law, just a reminder, in line 36, deposits to the title company, anything over $10,000 must be wired. Okay? You can wire $1,000. You can write a check for $9,999, but anything $10,000 and over must be a wire. Okay? So, what I do is I check off note. Note to be redeemed and accepted within 4 days of this whole contract being signed by buyer and seller. Okay? So I'm going to write $100,000. The list price is $100,000. My seller says I want to offer list. Great. We're going to put $1,000 earnest money because I know I'm not on multiple offers. And I'm going to check off a note. That means that $1,000 note is going to be redeemed within 4 days. Okay, now switch over to an actual note, which you include in your offer. It's loading. 1 second, please. A promissory note is going to look like this. Okay, and it says, the undersigned hereby promises to pay the order of Ohio Real Title, because in the contract we're going to use Ohio Real Title. We at Keller Williams send our money to the title company. We do not hold it here as a brokerage. Be careful when you're a listing agent and offers come in on your listings, whether the broker is holding it or the title company. We at Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan send our money to the title company. And the sum of one, literally have to write out O-N-E, $1,000, and then you write in the 1,000, there's the cents. And further agrees the promissory notes payable on the demand, blah, blah, blah. Okay, at the property address, and then obviously your buyer's signatures, print, and date. Okay, this is what a note looks like. This note, within 4 days, gets redeemed to the title company. So it is our transaction coordinator's job, if you have one, or if you're a solo agent, to remember that if you have the promissory note, you're in contact with the buyer to make sure they send that in to the title company, okay? I'm going back to the purchase agreement real quick here. Again, earnest money. You can make out a check. Some people like to make a check out. If you want, they take a picture of the check and send it over with your offer. That check doesn't get cashed unless this offer comes to fruition and buyers and sellers sign. Okay? I personally wouldn't put it in the mail. Since COVID, mail has just gotten lost, and I personally like just to have it wired, or a lot of title companies, and I know Ohio Real Title offers an online link. You just go on and you can just send the money that way. Okay? So again, this is the promissory note / earnest money class. If you have any questions, always reach out to me. But this line right here is on average customary 1% of this offer. And for purposes of best practice, just check off the note and attach the note to your offer. Okay? So please reach out, like I said, if you have any questions.